People. Que pasa, sakpa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. This one is called, it seems as if the JCF, the Popo, they are not interested in justice. They are more interested in cover-up. They are more interested in corruption. Whenever they violate anybody, whenever they do anything wrong, and it is caught on CCTV, caught on video, and they are exposed. I am speaking about an infamous video that is making its round on social media that is said to have taken place in a Old Harbor. In this video, you could see 3 members of the JCF dressed up in a blue with all sorts of tall up, pull over some sorts of vehicle, a BMW, NG3R M5, not really sure. You could see some sorts of conversation throughout that conversation that was held with one Popo talking to the passenger of that BMW. The driver was on the opposite side. An ex-Popo was standing right behind the officer that was having the conversation with the man. You could then clearly saw that officer walked over, lift up him hand, and out of nowhere give the man a ears across him face. You could hear the vibration. You could hear the echo. That man's ears should be ringing as I speak, and it is. However, I will get into that later. The name of that person that got the ears or the cloud across his face is Mikey. I am going to tell you the history of Mikey and why Mikey was never a threat to the Popo, never a threat to himself. These are the facts of exactly what happened. Based on the information, it is said that Mikey was going to some sort of pharmacy, some sort of store to pick up his medication. The person who is the driver and the owner of that BMW happened to know him, happened to see him, ask him, Mikey, which part you go? Come in, let me carry you. Don't know what happened, however, there was no sort of chase by the Popo. The Popo, as usual, are always stereotyping people. If them see you in a pretty car and you look like you don't belong, you don't look like you're from uptown, it is going to say you need a check. Them want to check you out. So therefore you are guilty until they can prove you innocent. People, that is not the law. You are innocent until you can be proven guilty. If you do not have any sorts of reasonable suspicion, you're not supposed to pull over anybody unless it is just some sorts of random check. However, in this case, it was not random, it was stereotyping. The thing is that the driver for this BMW is not a criminal, is not wanted, is a hard-working, ambitious young youth like most of us, or most of you people. So therefore, there was no sort of reason for these Popo to pull over this man or these people. And even worse, there was no sort of reason for the action of the Popo that rushed the man. That video is in my WhatsApp if you want it, 1-876-894-2711. I am overwhelmed by the request. I am going to get to it. If I have not sent it to you as yet, just hold on, you will get it. Guarantee. Now people, like me say, the man pull over the man. He was talking to the passenger. The passenger don't own the vehicle. The passenger was not driving. There was no sort of chase. There was no sort of violation of any sort of motor vehicle law or rule or protocol. So therefore, no sort of reason for the check. However, after the next man asked the man for pull up his pants, that was it. He asked Mikey to pull up his pants. Before Mikey could pull up his pants, it is not as if Mikey was saying anything out of the ordinary or a run off his mouth or a disrespect the next Popo. This man thought that the answer was not appropriate or he never pull up his pants fast enough. He then commenced To clock the man, give him a ears and then commence to start thump him, cuff him, all manner of evil. Fling down the man upon the ground, start lick him up with the tool and also stepping on him head. All of the time, the man did not resist any sorts of arrest. The man did not do anything. As a matter of fact, here is the history about Mikey. Mikey is said to be somebody that him head is not 100%. Him not fit for Bellevue, however, he needs to take his medication, which was what he was going to get before he was rudely interrupted and stopped. Violation of his human rights, civil rights, and everything for no reason. After the altercation, it is said that the Popo took these two men to the jail. However, when the man mother, meaning Mikey mother, go there and ask, how on lock up Mikey? Mikey no do nothing. Mikey no wanted. Mikey is not a troublemaker. Mikey is not a chopper. As a matter of fact, Mikey have mental illness. Them let go Mikey. Them let go the next youth. Them tell the mother, them can't go on. We don't have no charges against them. It is said that initially, when they took them to the station, them charged them for resisting arrest, ASSAULT pan Popo, and destruction of Popo property. People, do you want to hear what was the destruction of property? When them a lick down Mikey and Mikey almost fell and lose him balance, I guess him honor something hold on to one of them vests. And you know them Velcro vests, it open, so therefore them claim say him tear up the vest. Now people, you and I have read or saw this script already. You and I know that whenever the Popo do anything wrong, they are not going to apologize like some big people are professional. They are not going to be remorseful. They are going to use psychs. They are going to use reverse psychology and make it seem as if they were the victims. They were ATTACKED and they were just defending themselves. And the other Popo saw their Popo getting a royal BEAT down and they defended the badge of honor. More like the badge of dishonor. So people, like me say, them tell Mikey, say, listen, him can't go on no sorts of charges. When they realize that people like myself and other bloggers start posting on social media and they start getting exposed. To my not so surprise, because this is their MO, do you know what they did? They went to Mikey's house and his mother's house with some sorts of warrant or summons and said, listen, he is wanted, he needs reports. To the Popo station, people, this was 3 days later. The charges are going to be that ASSAULTED, the Popo, he also resisted arrest. He is also charged or is going to be charged for destruction of property. I guess the government uniform. People, can you believe this? This is supposed to be the JCF. Their motto, what they swore on, is to serve and protect. Yes, they will serve and protect if you are the Issa, if you are the Matalan, if your money is up there, if you're a politician, if you're in the body club, if you're a Popo, you can pretty much get away with anything, including MURDER, or thieving billions of dollars from anybody, including Usain Bolt, international superstar. However, the double standard is this. If you are poor and you get violated even on video and it is obvious that they were DEAD wrong, more than likely you will not see a day in court, and if you do, you are not going to get any sorts of justice, because any and every one of them, including the DPP, including the judge, including the Popo hierarchy, including your prime minister, including security minister and the commissioner, they are all one set of peas in a pod. Them look out for each other. There is going to be no sorts of justice. Now, people, the person that gave me this information, even though the information was later on the news, they did an interview, meaning TVJ, with this man. And the man say him ears still a ring. Him jawbone feel as if it is out of alignment. Him a get all sorts of headache. Him a feel all sorts of pain. So people, do you know why he is lawyered up? Because he needs to get some sort of justice. And that is why I did not do an interview with him. I was linked with him. However, I did not do an interview because I don't want to interfere with the case. If there was ever a case where somebody needs justice, where this was a blatant disregard for any sorts of rights, including human rights violation, this was because it was uncalled for. Them just pull over people out of the blues, being prejudiced, being stereotyping people, and they do what they've always done to poor people all the time. This is not an isolated incident. This is what they do all the time. However, the question we have to ask, why do you think that it is just like this? It is because from the top of the stream, including your prime minister, they are corrupt. They do not believe in justice. So when we ask, where is the prime minister? He is not going to say anything because he realized, listen, it is one of our own. These people protect me. This is the body club. You look out for me look out for you. So therefore, we do not expect any sort of response from the DPP because that is her MO. We do not expect any sort of response from the commissioner. We do not expect any sort of response from the security minister. As a matter of fact, INDECOM, which is the body that is supposed to make sure that Jamaicans, poor and rich, get their rights. If their rights is violated, these people should get suspended, fired, or even imprisoned. INDECOM is investigating. However, INDECOM says that they want to authenticate. They want to verify that this video actually happened. They want anybody, including the victim or witness, to come forward. People, do you know that there's a rule in the court that says, if you see anything on video, if the person that recorded that video cannot come and show up in court and authenticate and say, yes, I may do it, it no Photoshop, it no edits, that video will not be put into evidence. I think, do not quote me on it. Here is the next thing. There was a young man called Kentucky Kid. You might have heard about him. He had a same sort of entanglement with the Popo. The Popo came to his house. He went to the DPP. He showed her all the videos, CCTV footage of these people jumping over him fence, meaning him house fence that is. He told them that, listen, the Popo looking at my car and me try to get them to fix it. And because they did not want to fix it, Kentucky Kid ended up losing his life. The DPP had all of this. However, the DPP did not charge him. People, if you need a more perfect example of why Jamaica is the type of place that it is, that is a perfect example. In this case, my anticipation, based on information that I got, the Popo that did this wanted to apologize. The mother, meaning Mikey's mother, told him that, listen, me no want a sort of apology. The upper hierarchy of the JCF is planning to meet with them. I guess they're going to try to talk them out of it. These people are lawyering up. That means that them plan to sue the government of Jamaica and, in extension, the JCF and this little corrupted rogue Popo and this criminal Cumbolos, his cronies. However, I will warn them, don't let what happened to Kentucky Kid happen to you. And this is not to discourage any of the witnesses, but me just make you know, me a pre-warn you, these people will take you away. As simple as it sounds, that is facts, point blank and period. Thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.